put it changed to black. Okay. This is 5.3, okay, and this is going to be called centroids. All right, so please write your notes. You can work on that later. All right, this is going to be called centroids. So we are going to be working with triangles. Now, pay attention on what happens to these triangles. Now, okay, I have triangle ABC right here, all right? We're going to, with these centroids, okay, there's also it's going to include medians. So if I add this right here, okay, and put a D, AD is a median, okay, so AD, there's going to be two other ones, is a median. Now, when it's a median, okay, the median is going to split BC in half. So what would that tell me if it splits in half? Well, thank you, but what does that tell me for BC? They're congruent, so BD and DC are congruent. Now I'm going to say BE is a median. What does that tell me about AC? Yeah, these are also congruent. And then finally, I'm going to say CF is a median. Yeah, so AF and BF are congruent. Now, F, E, and D are midpoints. Okay, so those are going to be in the middle. Now, or middle of the line. The centroid is the very middle point. So I'm going to name this point G. G is the centroid. Okay, so pay attention on our congruent sides right here, because what if I said AE is 16? What would EC be? If AE is 16, what would EC be? Yeah, EC would also be 16. What if I said the whole value of BC is 30? What's DC? Yeah, it would be 15. What would BD be? What if I said BF is 8? What's the value of BA? 16, okay? Because then this would be 8. All right? Do we understand what happens right there in those congruent sides? Because E is a midpoint, F is a midpoint, and D is a midpoint, all right? Because those are also medians, so these are just split in half, all right? And they're congruent, okay? That's the outside part. Now, when we have this triangle, okay, I'm drawing the same exact thing. We're going to find the values of the inside lines, okay? So this one's just going to be labeled a little bit different. All right, so these values of these medians are going to be split into thirds. Now, we're going to find the values of those medians. So if I start with AD, okay, do we see the line of AD right here? See how I kind of just highlighted it? Or let me do it in blue real quick. AD is this median right here. Now, when I have the line coming from the angle, do you see my red dot, how it's coming from the angle of A? And it goes to that value of G. Okay, that segment from A of AG. AG equals 2/3 of the value of AD. Okay, it will make sense in a second. Now, what do you think that means for GD? Yeah, GD is going to be 1/3 of the value of AD. Okay, so let's say AD equals 24. Okay, So let's say AD, the whole value of AD equals 24. Now, let's find GD first, okay, that 1/3 value. If I'm finding that 1/3 value, it's just 1/3 of 24. What do you think we do? Yeah, we just do 24 divided by 3. So what's 24 divided by 3? And that's our value of GD. Now, that's 1/3. How can we find our 2/3 value? Say that one more time. Yeah, you can subtract 8 from 24. Or if you have your 1/3 value, think of it as what's 1/3 plus 1/3? That's 2/3. So we can just do 8 times 2. What's 8 times 2?
16.
And there's our value for AG. Yeah, and you can do it either way. You can do it either way. Now, I'm going to go up a little bit. So, remember this part. When it comes from the angle, okay, do you see this angle I just drew? That is the 2/3. The 2/3 value when it comes from the angle. When it comes from the midpoint, see how I put a big dot right here at D? When it comes from that midpoint and goes to the centroid, that's the 1/3. Okay, so when it comes from midpoint, it's the 1/3 value. When it comes from the angle, it's the 2/3 value. All right. Now let's say GE. I'm going to say GE has a value of 3. All right. What would CG be? Is 6. Because GE our 1/3 or our 2/3 value? Mm-mm. Yeah, it's our 1/3 because it's coming from the midpoint. Yeah, CG is our 2/3, so that'd be 6. So then what's the value of CE? 9. Perfect. Okay. What about GF? What if I said GF has a value of 10? What would BG be? Well, is GF our 2/3 or 1/3 value? 2/3 because it comes from the angle. So if this is our 2/3, we need our 1/3 value. So what should we do? I couldn't hear you. Divide by 2. Is that what you said? Divide by 2. So what's 10 divided by 2? 5. So BG is 5. And then what's the value of BF? 15. Okay? How do we feel about this? Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's look at we're going to look at like examples that you will actually see. Okay? So, let's look at this one right here. All right, I'm going to zoom in so we can see it. All right. It says in triangle RST, X is the centroid. If RU is 33, which we can't see R, is 33, find US. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got to zoom out one little point if I can. There we go. Okay, so it says RU is 33. So I'm going to mark 33 right here. All right. What we need to find the value of US. That's this segment right here. What is that going to be? What? Well, look at where 33 is. Yeah, it's 33 because you remember if U is the midpoint, these are congruent. So this one, US equals 33. So anytime it's on the outside, these are congruent. Okay. So if RW was 35, what would WT be? Yeah, it would also be 35. Okay. What about this one? RV is 33. Find RW. RV, that's our whole value of the median. If that is 33, all right, we need to find RW, our 2/3 value. Perfect. So let's find our 1/3. How do we find our 1/3 value from the midpoint? We by not 2. We need to divide by 3 to get our 1/3. Okay, so what's 33 divided by 3? Okay, but we need to find RW, our 2/3. So what do we do with 11? Times it by 2. So what do we get? 22. Perfect. So RW equals 22. All right. This one is MN is 60. So the whole value of the median is 60. We need to find QN. Is QN our 1/3 or 2/3 value? 1/3, because it comes from the median. Or sorry, it comes from the midpoint. So this is our 1/3 value. So what do we do with 60? By 3. So what's 60 divided by 3? There we go. What about this one? LK. LK, is that our 1/3 or 2/3 value? It's our 1/3 because it comes from the midpoint. So this is 13. GL is not the whole length, but it is our what side? 2/3. So what do we do with 13? By times by 2. What's 13 times 2? Perfect. Okay. How are you guys feeling? Do 5 and 7 on your own. But keep it to yourself. Oh, IN. This is IN. That's what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's look at number 5. It says PS is 18. We need to find SQ. What's SQ? It's also 18 because what do we know about PS and SQ? They're congruent. Yeah, because S is the midpoint. Perfect. Now, NM is 8. What is IN? Because NM is our 1/3 value, IN is our 2/3 value. So it's 16. Do we have any questions? Okay, since I said we were going to be able to work on homework on Friday, I'm going to give you the rest of class to work on homework. All right, there is an assignment over this today. It should not take you long.